Alright everyone, I'm Mr. Hunter, lead interview developer, mastermind, like you said, behind the Validator Gateway. It's a lot easier to build this than you guys think, so it's not that complicated. They like to background me, they call me Ben the Block Builder pretty often, even though our block builder, you know, is way down low nowadays. So let's get started with the Validator Gateway. Validator Gateway, one tool, 2 components. We got the BDN Gateway, focusing on consensus layer rewards. The goal with that is more accurate head attestations, higher sync committee performance, and then the second component, the relay proxy, and everyone's favorite term, MEV, or maximizing MEV rewards with that, increase block value, and the lowest latency possible with relays anywhere in the world. So here's a quick high-level topography view of this. We have our bloXroute hosted node nearby your validator node. You see these lines are a little bit longer because they're further away. That's important. We'll come back to that later. Probably not. So you can see the 2 components we got: BDN Gateway, relay proxy. Consensus layer connects to the BDN Gateway, MEV boost, relay proxy. We talked about improving the performance of validators. We pitched this to a lot of validator sets, a lot of node operators. They're like, hey, sounds great, but where's the data? So we've been live since January 1st. We've had over 22,000 validators connect to it. More than 5,000 blocks delivered through the relay proxy. From that, we see a 6.4 average increase in block value. In the last 14 days, we had a 0.4 ETH. There was one a while ago that was like 3.2 ETH extra in block value for one of these. We want to keep these fresh. And then 272% max increase in the last 14 days. Our relay proxy is the most profitable bid for validators 78% of the time. So that's the relay proxy side. Let's talk about some of the BDN rewards. BDN is a little bit more complex here. MEV, everyone understands MEV, 6.4%. That's a good number. We want to see more money from MEV. But how do we improve validator attestations? So BDN aims to improve overall validator effectiveness. You heard a couple people talk about Validator Network. It's a tool that a lot of validators are using to track their performance, compare themselves to other node operators. So, if you make a request to a beacon node for attestations, you'll see the performance of a validator. Here's 2 different validators over a specific epoch. You'll see they got a reward for the head attestation, they didn't. 0 is bad. No one wants 0 attestation rewards, right? We all want to get this 2,493 way. Right? It's a good amount, but we don't want 0 attestations. So what we're working on with the BDN, we stream attestations, we stream blocks directly to these beacon nodes. They see their head update faster, they're more accurate when they're voting. And one thing to know, these are both the same node operator on 2 different nodes. One connects to the BDN, one is not. So let's talk about some data specifically for the BDN. Over 1,000 validators, the spend of 1,000 validators, we looked at when they connect to the BDN, the data beforehand, the data afterwards. So 1,000 epochs before they were connected to BDN, they saw 32.3 average 0 value head attestation. So they saw 32 of these every single epoch, 32 of those, for all 1,000 of the validators. Right after they connected to BDN, they saw an average of 23.1, which is close to about 50% improvement. And then actually that equates to an annual increase of 3.2 ETH per 1,000 validators, just to connect to the BDN. So how does this work? You saw right there, we have the topography. It's right next to the validator. It takes a long time to get this request to the relay. But we talked about it being there, and they all mentioned that we're streaming others directly to the relay proxy. So this server, very close to you guys. We have one available in Virginia, Singapore, Frankfurt. We're also working on opening some in Canada, South America, and Africa as well. So we have the lowest low latency for a relay to all validators. What that means, all the big relays operate in one specific region. bloXroute is a US East only relay. Ultrasound is in the EU. Flashbus is in the US. All those are very region specific. So we bring the relay to the validator. And how we do that is through a gRPC connection. If anyone has followed along with this 9 minute slot, you might have learned a little bit more about gRPC. It was a fun topic. But anyways, we have a full gRPC integration with our relay proxy to our max profit and regulated relays. We've actually been encouraging relays to explore using gRPC more in the entire market, just because it's a lot faster, lower CPU usage, and better network latency. So the bids are turned directly to the relay proxy, which means they're available right next to the validator. This comes back 5 milliseconds later. The other thing is that we actually stream payloads directly to the relay proxy, so that when a validator wants to make a get payload request, those payloads are pretty big. It takes a long time for those to get over. Everything's through JSON right now, which is slow and very craggy. So we have a payload right next to the validator, very low latency to make that get payload request, very low latency to publish that block. The last part of this, we have optimized delays built into the relay proxy, and you guys just heard about some timing games. So we're going to talk a little bit more about timing games here. This is just a view of payload streaming. So here's let's look at some latency models based on if you're doing what the relay proxy does in terms of a delay without using a delay. So 2 different ways to get a better value as a validator. You add your own delay and make one request here late at the end, or you make a bunch of get header requests, choose the best header you have, and then make a get payload request. Obviously that takes time. We see this line, it's a little bit more latency. So the brute force model, you have to modify new boost, modify vouch, which sucks. No validator wants to modify these things. They don't want to maintain those updates when all the new updates come up. The Jinkun upgrade is a heavy update for a lot of different clients. So modified code makes merging upstream updates a huge pain. It's uncontrollable network latency. The validator doesn't know how long these requests are going to take. They don't know when they're going to get the response back. And if they're waiting on these to make the get payload request, they're going to have a bad time. The other problem is relays rate limit. We get like 1,000 get header requests every single slot from all kinds of different IDs. We rate limit. We can't afford to do that. We can't afford to serve those. Every relay is rate limited at some point. And there's a higher risk of missed slots with this model. So quick, you guys heard more about timing games. We don't have to go through too much of this. Here's the 2 big reasons why people say it's bad. Slower block propagation, worse for the network. We don't want Vitalik coming after us, when we're disobeying his religion. And also with the centralization vector. If you're going to be optimizing latency, you're going to co-locate with a single relay for that. You're going to have your delays, try to connect to those relays specifically, and then you have more control of the network relay. We've actually seen some relays tell validators, just move your servers to us. And it's terrible. We've always said, keep your servers where you are, we'll come to you. And here we are coming to them. I'll show this slide right here. This is from P2P. They did a lot of research about why timing games is important. The value goes up, later you are into a slot. Pretty straightforward. But delays are bad. Let's look at ultrasound and bloXroute. We both are doing delays right now. I know Max didn't want to call people out about this. This is pretty public knowledge. A lot of validators can see this in their logs. There's a large latency right here. I guess it's not large. 500 milliseconds latency. You receive a get header request. You wait. You load the best header. Send it back. The reason that we all do this is bloXroute and ultrasound are optimizing everything. We got to the point where we could serve a get header request in like 1 millisecond. So once you have that, you're gonna lose out on a lot of opportunity. Being a slow relay at that point was more profitable. And we don't do slow at bloXroute. Even ultrasound doesn't do slow either. We're both very fast. So we have this delay so that our relay is providing a valuable service for validators. Otherwise, you're going to connect to a relay that doesn't care about the performance. So let's look at how it works with the Validator Gateway. If you notice, there's a larger slant in here, a higher degree angle, so it's more latency right there. But this is like vertical, right? It's right next to the validator, very low network latency. We had a larger delay. So because they're so optimized with this, we are at a larger delay to have more valuable blocks available for the validator. Because of that, we're returning because we're close to them, we return the block or the bid to them very quickly, low network latency. We're able to make it get node requests faster with this model. And then what about centralization? We already talked about this. There's some relays that are telling validators to move to them. We come to you guys. We move this node. We set this up wherever you guys want to have it. We have validators using this product in Asia Pacific who their stakeholders have told them you have to move to EU or US. But after seeing this product's performance, they're staying in Asia Pacific. So we're fighting centralization of this product. Alright, we got more data to talk about. It's the only thing that really matters here, right? Here's the pricing model for us. We have a couple of different tiers of pricing, yada, yada, yada. Let's look at, here's an example of validator that's been connected for, since launch, January 16th is when they joined. They average 6.2 extra ETH every month, over 5,000 validators. The annual return on the relay proxy alone is 74.4 ETH. And then for attestations at that 3.2 ETH per 1,000 validators, annually is 16 ETH. And the annual cost from bloXroute is only 41.65 ETH, which means all of this right here is profit for them. So yeah, total value of Validator Gateway. Increased earnings, obviously. Timing gains are in your control. You stay in the region of your choice. You maximize the performance of your nodes. We also have a new feature we call trusted validators. Some of you are trusted validators. Some of you guys here are trusted validators with bloXroute. The impetus behind that, if you guys remember, there's a $20 million vulnerability found by relays where bundles were being unwound. So with that, a lot of verifications slowed down block propagation. What we do is we extend the same trust that we do to builders to validators. We don't require all those validations that happen on your blocks to maximize your proposal time. And this is just our first iteration. We just released this product this year, just a few months ago, and it's already outperforming our expectations here. We're just getting started. We're gonna have a lot more features coming soon, and here's a couple of them right here. AL mentioned about the attestation aggregation. We got to figure out a good word for that. But then we're aggregating votes here in a fork and improving battery performance. So they're choosing the most optimal fork for them. We also have a new feature that we're calling compliance lists. It's an enhanced compliance for institutional validators that are wanting more preference in the transactions they include in their blocks. And then honestly, there's more API. Our relay proxy has an 80% run rate right now, 6.5% increase in block value, saving, I don't know what that number's supposed to be. It's averaging about 10, it's supposed to be a period right there. It's saving about 10 attestations per block per 1,000 validators. And that's it. You guys have any questions about the Validator Gateway?
Can we install that relay proxy in our network?
Yes, actually, you can self-host a relay proxy, so you can get it on the same server as your node if you're interested in doing that.
That would be easier for us.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have the integration process on here, but the relay proxy behaves identical to a relay. All you have to do on a movie boost is add it as an additional relay on the startup parameters, and you get all that value.
So what's the maximum effectiveness
The maximum effectiveness of
validator?
we actually see, we're targeting a 0.5% improvement in effectiveness for validators with this, but from the 30% improvement in attestations, it's actually a 1.2% effectiveness rating on rated network. Improvement. Any other questions? Awesome. Well, if you guys have any questions about integrating, if you have any questions about adding this to your stack, definitely reach out to me and we'll set it up. Actually, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I was just saying, I mean, at some point, this is just going to be a zero-sum game, right? Because the increase in NAV that's extracted out of a delayed block is really coming from the block behind you, right? Or the block in front of you, right?
It really depends on the market. I mean, the average block value is 0.07 ETH, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone's getting those 300 ETH blocks, right? So when there's a lot of competition, actually this month, or this weekend, we've noticed a huge increase in DeFi, probably because of the bull run on the market. And block value has been going up because of that. So there's a lot of opportunity those block values are actually more competitive after the start of the slot.
Yeah, but I mean, if the person in front of me delayed their one, then I still you're only going to make it in this early period of time when the block proposer in front of you is on time, and I'm extending my time and getting more opportunity to extract math.
Yeah, the more if everyone's delaying, everyone's seeing the same increase in APY, but you have to start quickly. Anyone else have any other questions? I thought I saw one more hand. It went back down. So. Perfect. Thanks, everyone.